for this call today. So I appreciate that. I'm seeing that my voice is very quiet. Am I, that, is that, am I coming across okay?
You sound okay to me. I'm seeing thumbs up mostly. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, maybe just turn up the volume on your computer. Well, great, you guys. Thanks. Thanks for jumping on this. I promise not to take a lot of your time. Just wanted to take this opportunity to really focus on two things on this call. One of them is to discuss our strategic initiatives, and number two, to talk about some organizational structure changes that'll go behind those changes. So let's start with number one, and that's strategic planning. We did that a little bit differently this year. So we actually started back in February. So that was one thing that was different. The other, probably more critical factor that we did differently this year is that we actually did strategic planning jointly with Infinity's sister companies. For those of you that may not be located in the Northwest, Infinity is part of a larger organization, being Avamere, and we've got Signature Home Health and Hospice. And historically, we've all gone about our planning individually every year, and it's served each company fairly well. But we also, as a result, ended up setting goals in isolation of one another when really there might have been, we were missing out on some benefit of maybe doing more joint planning. So this year we embarked upon a process that again started back in February. And when you go back and you look at the number of hours that have been put into planning since then, it's been about 3,000 hours, not just of Infinity, but when you look at all the participants from the other companies, that jointly participated, it's a pretty impressive number. So why does this matter? Especially if you're not in an Avamere facility. Why this is important is that Infinity, though already a strong company, can be even stronger, which is, if we're planning together, so knowing that there's strength in being more closely aligned with our other companies. So really the goal going into these planning sessions that had representatives from all the companies was to identify strategic priorities that went across all the companies. And as a result, we came out of these joint meetings with about 6 priorities that we'll be focused on for the next 1 to 3 years. And without going into great detail on those priorities, some of these are going to sound familiar to you, but number 1 is around people, culture, and corporate social responsibility. And in that includes diversity and inclusion. Derek Fenwick, Holly Winnick have been integral parts of this committee, as well as representatives from Avamere and Signature. Number 2 initiative is around quality and outcomes improvement. And again, that had representation of people like Patty Sheets from Infinity, Mary Kofstad from Signature, Carl Tabor from Avamere. So again, this is a different approach in that we're planning around quality that includes nurses and home health at the table. So a very different approach. The continuum of care, we have markets, not all of the Infinity markets, but several where we've got home health in the market, we've got assisted living, we've got skilled nursing, and can we be looking at better coordination around that in those markets? Growth and development. That's growth is an important strategic initiative. Are there better ways for us to grow, both Infinity and all the other companies? Reimbursement and payment strategy. We all know we have PDPM on the horizon. Well, home health has PDGM, and many of you at Infinity are doing home health. And so just to know that, why not work with our allies, our partners, in developing joint strategies around these reimbursement changes. ACO commercial payer strategy. what today you have to become a better partner with the payers and managed care and you got bundle payment and all these value-based purchasing models. So we've developed initiatives around that as well. So again, the difference this year being rather than us developing our own siloed Infinity initiatives, let's do this together and with our other companies. All of these initiatives have key performance indicators. These aren't just goals written on a piece of paper, but they're very well spelled out with measurable milestones that we've laid out over the next 1 to 3 years. So now that was completed, the next step was to really examine the org structure and design of all the companies and look at the current state and compare that to what is needed to really execute. And and as we did that, we began to identify the need to make some changes in order to promote these kind of new cross-functional teams that we felt were necessary. And I'm just going to show you. I'm going to see if I can show you my screen, and actually it's easier to look at a org structure. Let's see. All right. Maybe I'll just ask Derek again. Derek, are you seeing? Okay, great. You're seeing my screen. So hopefully everybody can see this, but this is the org structure that we're now coming out of these initiatives with. And you've got CEO, which is Rick Miller, who's the owner of Avamere and Infinity and Signature, all the companies. He's actually stepped back in as CEO. He was kind of a non-operational owner for several years, and he's now back active as the CEO. General counsel is what GC is. Chief financial officer, CFO. Chief growth officer is that position has existed. The 3 positions in the black boxes are actually new positions. And as we looked at the org structure for, with the goal of bringing better alignment between all the companies, the goal of driving these new priorities and initiatives, then we also identified all of the support service departments, HR, data, IT, marketing, compliance. There was opportunity to also bring alignment to all of these support services as well. So as a result, it was decided by the strategic initiative team that this org structure needed to change, and these 3 new positions were added. Now let me just go to the next slide. It kind of gives you a little more detail behind this. Maybe. There we go. So in this chart, you'll note that as one of the executive vice presidents at Avamere, is that role I've been asked to assume one of those roles. So, and then the other positions, Donna Mueller, for those of you who know Donna, has been asked to lead up strategy and development. Matt Hilty would fill one of the EVP roles. He currently is on the Avamere side, overseeing the community-based care and skilled nursing. And Tim Esau is the corporate compliance officer. So I've been asked to oversee all the ancillary services, including Infinity, Signature, the people initiative that goes across all the companies, as well as looking at and overseeing and responsible for the HR, human resources aspects of all of the companies as well. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this new role will require that I leave my role as president of Infinity Rehab and hire a replacement. Now, the good news is that I have 2 amazing candidates from right inside in Infinity Rehab, being Stacy Turner and Jolene Monroe, who have both eagerly stepped forward to fill this position. Now, by promoting from within Infinity Rehab, I ensure the continuity of our great culture that we've built, the important strategic initiatives around quality and people, everything that we've been working on those all continue unchanged. In addition, both Stacy and Jolene will bring their own creativity, innovation, operational excellence as potential presidents of Infinity Rehab as well. So this is a process. This is not changing overnight. Signature's going through the same process, in that you'll note that Bob Thomas, his name is under Chief Operating Officer, and he's currently the president of Signature. So that's a change for that company. Where both of the companies, Infinity and Signature, are going through a very rigorous interview process. A committee of both Infinity representatives and non-Infinity representatives are interviewing both Stacy and Jolene, and anticipate this transition process will probably take the remainder of 2018. So again, the purpose of today's call, I wanted everybody to know, as this developed, and again, it's been developing over the last 6 months, and it's now at a point where it's actually solidified, that want to make sure this was communicated well to all of you, and that you're aware that the company is going to continue to be moving forward with all of its current initiatives, and that I, wholeheartedly feel that these strategic priorities and these org changes will benefit Infinity Rehab in the long run. And I have 100% confidence in my successor, whether that be Stacy or Jolene. Be some questions. So please don't hesitate to reach out either to me directly, your area rehab director, or any of the other Infinity Rehab leaders. We welcome all questions and any comments that you might have. So I just want to conclude by thanking all of you for first taking time out of your busy schedules to jump on this call at the last minute. There will be an announcement coming up from Rick Miller next on Tuesday. We'll follow up on Monday, and the insider is going to come out instead of today, it'll come out Monday, and there'll be a letter in there just kind of reiterating exactly what we just covered. So in case any of your staff couldn't be on this call, there'll be a letter detailing that. And then on Tuesday, Rick Miller, CEO of Avamere, will also be sending out a letter basically reiterating the same thing. So we just wanted you to hear first from us. So thank you again for making time today, and really thank you for just making Infinity the great company that it is. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. So just to kind of reiterate, we have this recorded, and we do plan to make the link available for a short amount of time. We're not going to have a Q&A on the call right now, but just to reiterate what Mike said, I definitely encourage you to talk to an Infinity leader or your area director, because we want to keep the lines of communication open and definitely exchange in that dialogue. Just wanted to do it in a forum that we can moderate in an effective way. So yeah, thank you guys for your call, and I think this wraps it up. Thanks everybody for joining on short notice.